Tifa Lockhart, one of Final Fantasy VII's strongest characters. Not just physically, but emotionally too. She's everything a well-written character should be. She went through real, gut-wrenching trauma, lost her family, her village, her entire childhood, everything she knew. But she still found the strength to get back up and keep going. Despite everything, she didn't become bitter or broken. She became resilient, kind, strong in a way that doesn't always make the highlight reels, but stays with you. That kind of strength, it's inspiring, and honestly something we should all hold on to. Tifa Lockhart is a gem of a character. So why is it that every time I open TikTok or Twitter, I see this? She lied to Cloud. She manipulated him to keep his fake persona. She excluded him as a kid.
I genuinely do not like Tifa.
She literally lied to Cloud about Zack and even in their childhood and excluded his past. Woo! Okay. That was something. Let's head over to topic 1. Tifa lied to Cloud. This one just refuses to die. The claim is that Tifa knew Cloud's memories were false and quote-unquote let him believe it for her own benefit, as if she wanted him to keep living a lie. But why? That makes zero sense, and it's not even supported by the story. The reality is that Tifa was processing the situation just like Cloud. She wasn't hiding the truth out of malice, she was afraid. Cloud was mentally unstable. We've seen what happens when he's hit with too much truth at once. His mind fractures. And don't forget, it's not just about memory. Genova's cells actively block and distort the truth. We see this over and over. One key moment, in Ever Crisis, a gacha game that closely follows the original Final Fantasy VII timeline, we see a flashback where Tifa finds a comatose Cloud at the train station. He wakes up because she's there. She's the one familiar link to his past. Then Cloud starts talking about the Nibelheim incident. Tifa's confused. He was never there. In her mind, she asks him how he knows about it. And right at that moment, the dialogue box just... The memory is being suppressed in real time. That's Genova's influence at work. It actively blocks out key information that could help Cloud uncover his true identity. So even if Tifa had told him everything, he wouldn't have been able to fully process it, because the Genova cells are constantly interfering, distorting, and locking those memories away. This isn't about Tifa manipulating him, it's about her trying to help him find the truth gently, because his mind isn't ready to face it all at once. That's not lying, that's being careful with someone you love. I genuinely believe that many FF7 fans, especially those active on TikTok, haven't read Traces of Two Paths, a novel that explores the childhood and backstories of both Tifa and Aerith in far greater depth than the games alone. While we do get glimpses of Tifa's childhood in the original game and remake, the book delves much deeper, making it essential reading for anyone trying to understand these characters beyond surface-level interpretations. Right from the beginning, page 6 in fact, Aerith asks Tifa about the tea party she used to host as a child. Tifa explains that there were only 4 other kids around her age in the village, all boys, and they were all collectively known as the 4 Friends of Nibelheim. Aerith then asks an obvious question: why weren't they called 5 friends if Tifa was part of the group? Tifa responds that while one of those boys was Cloud, she always, and I mean always, invited him, but he refused. She goes on to explain that Cloud's behavior made him a bit of an outcast. He frequently got into fights, avoided the other boys, and was eventually nicknamed things like the Weirdo or the Menace to Society. Despite all that, Cloud secretly liked Tifa. He wanted to send out to her, but was too nervous and socially anxious to interact with the group, unless it was just with her. On page 15, Tifa recalls even earlier memories after her mother passed away when she was 8. At that time, she and Cloud were actually really close. They lived next to each other and would spend entire days playing together, often running back and forth between their houses. But as time went on, the two drifted apart. Tifa believed it was because of Cloud's falling out with the other boys, but the book makes it clear it likely began even before that, possibly due to the trauma surrounding the Mount Nebel accident. After the incident, where Tifa was critically injured, townspeople, unaware of what really happened, blamed Cloud, painting him as a troublemaker who recklessly dragged her into danger. From Cloud's perspective, this moment was devastating. It confirmed all his worst fears, that he was weak, unworthy, unloved, and incapable of protecting the people who mattered most. In response, he lashed out in childish ways, but deep down, this was just Cloud trying to cope with his overwhelming self-doubt. Tifa changed too. Once a confident and lively girl, she became quieter and more reserved, haunted by the trauma of losing her mother. Though she couldn't bring her mother back, she resolved to conquer the mountain that defeated her as a child. She trained under Zangan, became a martial artist, and eventually mastered Mount Nebel as a guide. This restored her confidence in her physical abilities, but it didn't ease her fear of losing people she loved. One person, though, stayed in her heart: Cloud. Even when everyone else saw him as a problem, Tifa remembered he was the only one who had never abandoned her. But with her shaken confidence, she struggled to express what she truly felt. She bottled up her growing feelings for Cloud, just as he was bottling his feelings for her. From Cloud's point of view, Tifa's silence meant she didn't care, so he made what he thought was the only move left. He joined Soldier. He did it not for glory or status, but to become someone strong enough to protect her. But ironically, that was the opposite of what Tifa wanted. She didn't see it as a romantic gesture. She saw it as him leaving. She didn't realize that this choice came from a place of affection, so she added Cloud to the list of people she had lost. So, to conclude, no, Tifa did not purposely exclude Cloud. It was Cloud who, struggling with insecurity and social anxiety, isolated himself and acted out in unhealthy ways to prove his worth. That's why, in the water tower scene, when she asked him to promise he'll come and save me, it isn't about Soldier. It's because she finally saw Cloud for who he really was. A quiet, kind-hearted boy who was never unreachable after all. She didn't fall in love with the idea of him as a heroic soldier. She loved him, the real Cloud, just as he was. And that's exactly why the livestream scene is one of the most important moments in Final Fantasy VII. Tifa had to be the one to pull him back, because everything Cloud did, joining Soldier, becoming stronger, was ultimately for her. But the tragic part is that he never had to prove anything. She already loved him for who he was. Cloud and Tifa's relationship is one of the emotional cornerstones of Final Fantasy VII. That's not to say other relationships are important. They are, but theirs encapsulates a deeper message, that you don't need to become someone else to be loved. The right person will have seen your worth from the very beginning. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.